Okay, hello everyone. Uh, I'm Guillaume here, joined with Rosalie, aka Crypto Queen. This is the Stop Losing, Start Trading show that we're doing this 3 times a week. This is a way for, I guess, now Rosalie's pretty much an expert, but to teach Rosalie at first how to trade options. Now we're branching out into different markets. This one we're trying today is ETH-SOL, so trading the ratio, which is an interesting trade. ETH and Solana they have had a lot of press action. Trading the ratio is a different skill, so we'll discuss that. Nothing we see here is financial advice, but more generally just financial entertainment. We talk about options. We talk about the markets. Brennan will be joining us for the second half of the show to talk about the trading commission we've had and the best and worst trades of the week. But in the meantime, this is us trying to go around how to set up the perfect ETH-SOL trade. So first of all, how are you doing today, Rosalie?
Good, good. Yesterday was a holiday, so I enjoyed a day off and just getting ready for ETH-CC and NFT NYC next week. So there's a lot of events happening and yeah, lots of
There's
people to meet.
permissionless as well. So NFT and permissionless is at the same time
Yeah,
window.
yeah, it's happening at the same time. Yeah.
Kind of different crowds, maybe. NFT NYC, you've been going for many years, I think. So you know which one will you prefer now? The
I think
finance just DeFi focused permissionless or the more NFT one?
I think they're very similar though, attracting an audience. But yeah, I'll be at Blockworks permissionless mostly, and then we'll go to some Solana events and side events for NFT NYC as well.
Yeah, NFTs again had a huge impact and huge run up. I don't know if they're still how much volume I guess OpenSea gets, and it used to be, but yeah, very
I
cool that
think
they're
I
still.
think it's changed a little bit, definitely, but they're using a lot of stuff for RWAs and for artists and for all sorts of things. So
I mean, makes a ton of sense. I think the like everything, there's a bubble that makes everyone kind of rethink their life choices. But then afterwards, when the dust settles, you kind of figure out the best use cases and then you move from there. So definitely not dead. NFTs are not dead. It's just maybe consolidating. So very cool. Yeah, let's do a brief overview of the markets. The last, yeah, I've the last few months almost very stable. Nothing going on. Again, it seems to be red, but it's back to where it was. Definitely, ETH's price has been oscillating between I don't know 2450 and 2650. Some spikes up and down. We see these huge kind of up and down spikes, and it's stable in between. But nothing very bullish, bearish, earth shattering. It's just going sideways. We had this huge influx. I don't know if it's in the distribution with everything that's been going on with ETH, which is kind of quite a lot. The ETH rebanding on ETH Foundation, the slightly different. Okay, let me go back here. The Circle IPO, the stable coins, the Genius Act, all over. This is bullish for DeFi, but it seems like any news that has been published in the past 2 months hasn't moved the price at all. But yeah, we'll see what it is. It's good for being an option seller with a range bound. Price doesn't move much. It's just a matter of kind of keeping the ranges constant. And yeah, there's not much to do than waiting here.
yeah, we'll be waiting for a while, I think. But this looks
I don't know. The more we wait, the more I'm afraid of a explosion to the upside or downside. We
okay.
haven't seen it yet, but yeah, uh, if you were to bet on the price going up very suddenly or down very suddenly, which one do you think is going to happen first? At least on ETH,
I'll probably down first.
like we've seen again. The first year was brutal, down. Now it's up, but yes. Um, oh my god, yeah, this is a weird chart. Let's look at Solana. So we'll do a ETH-SOL trade. So the price of Solana has also been somewhat stable. Again, on the year, it's back to where it was, but also kind of not moving much. What's interesting about this trade is that on Panoptic, we're using Uniswap markets. The one that exists on mainnet is ETH-SOL. So in a weird way, it's pairing the two, so we don't trade the price of Sol or the price of ETH, we trade the ratio. And you can see this by kind of enabling this. But the ratio also has been going up earlier this year. I mean, even the year, kind of up overall on the year, ups and downs for sure. Now it's going down, so that could guide the trade. So the purple line is what we're trading in a weird way, not the blue one, which is the price, but rather the purple. Um, Anything, I guess, in that chart that gives you some assumption you can even preload. But yeah, what do you think the price of of Sol generating Ether will do?
Yeah, I think it looks like it's kind of come far enough down that it should maybe have more of an upward swing sometime soon. I think Solana is definitely moves more since the price is lower. And so maybe after all of these NFT events and the Solana Skyline events, maybe there will be an upward price swing.
Bullish, yeah, for sure. And maybe it's worth looking at the volatility charts again. Even though we look at the price charts, we have the volatility charts exist. This is the Volmex index, and let's go back to starting of June. So this is the volatility of Ethereum based off of centralized exchanges, some on-chain exchange like Derive, but overall we see it go back and up and down. The current value is 73. And you said that you think the price of Solana just moves more generally. So
Mhm.
that means the IV you think will be higher on Solana than ETH.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Okay, so the vol has been going down since the past few days from a high of 82. Now it's 73. This is ETH. Let's look at Solana. Um, to have 30, does it change? Yeah, 30 days is the same one as this. So I know that can't be right. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay. If you look back since the beginning of June, it's 75. So it did
Yes.
go higher, 88, maybe
Mhm.
high over a few days ago. Now it's back to the same one. So it's a very, very similar product today. It could change. Maybe one of them will have an increase in volatility or not. But it's almost like um, Apple and Amazon in a way. They are quite similar in terms of volatility. Both volume, huge companies, but they trade similarly. So the same strategies you do on Amazon, you could do on Apple. Here, at this snapshot in time, it seems like Solana and ETH are quite similar in terms of volatility. And finally, let's go to Bitcoin. Uh, this one would be much, yeah, 40% volatility, uh, which I think it's quite low. It's not
Mhm.
that low in a while. Yeah, let's go back. But it's, I don't know what it means about um, inflow, but since April, it's actually quite, yeah, since the beginning of the year, let's say 2020. Oh, okay, this is high. Yeah, 2025 on a downward slope. It was around 70 earlier this year, but now it's going down. Um, that makes it a bit more of a stable stock. Of course, the price hasn't moved much, and it's reflected on the IV. But yeah, price the IV going down. It's not the best environment for selling options. Might be a good one for buying options.
Mhm.
All right, let's have a look at the intern's portfolio. So we do this trading. We discuss trades. The intern sometimes listens to us, sometimes doesn't listen to us, but we have a way to trade different markets. They've removed their eigen deposits where they made quite a good profits. I think it's 50% profit over the past 3 months. Because we were selling options, the price was kind of cooperating, and we moved all of it in the ETH-SOL ratio. So now there's no positions, but we have deposits, 0.25 ETH, less than one SOL. So it's heavily geared towards ETH, but that's fine. So we have quite a bit of room to play here. So utilization, most of the market seems to be somewhat stable, making a lot on the BTC, ticker Bitcoin, losing a little bit on the ETH-USDC. So before we set up that ETH-SOL trade, is there one market you want to maybe check in to make sure everything's right?
Yeah, let's check in on the USDC ETH. Well, I'm not sure if intern opened a new position yet. No.
Hmm. Yeah, one which is earning, and it's fine. It's a delta neutral trade. We see from the shape, we benefit from the price not moving, which is what we've seen. Here, we tried to be fancy and created a risk reversal. So This one is losing, but it's not because it's yeah. We can see from that trade, it's basically a long E position. Uh, what yeah. How do you feel
Yeah.
about this position?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe it's time to close it. I would hope that the price kind of takes a turn eventually. And I know this is a longer dated option. I think one of them was monthly and one of them was weekly, right? And
That's
so,
correct. Yeah.
um, yeah, I'm happy to keep it on a little bit longer. We're very close.
Yeah, the lower bound is 2400.
Yeah.
We could revisit that, I guess. But the this is a bullish trade for sure. You see slopes going up. We have a weird kind of two options. I'm okay with waiting. Again, I think the price has been moving back and forth around 2500, which is where we were. So we're earning premium, but it's not. Uh, if it's a bullish trade, we should kind of stick to it. It's been 4 days, so we have maybe a longer time scale, which is kind of that long leg to worry about. So I would still keep it on unless you say I have insider information. I think the price of it is going down. Then we can reposition or even be short.
Nobody gives me insider information, unfortunately.
I
But
think being at these conferences, you probably have a finger on the pulse a bit more than if you're just on crypto Twitter. So people in person definitely have. Uh,
people are always really, really bullish, and the market on ETH and the market does not seem to reflect that. I know with everything that Athena has been building and the Milady community, and everyone seems to be extremely bullish, but I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I think the powers that be, again, retail is definitely bullish. We've been people have been here for 10 years, again, 10 years anniversary this month of Ethereum. So you're a believer after so many years, but then if you're a newcomer, maybe you go to a different chain, but that's fine. Or if you're an institution, again, the institutional upside is where some of that bigger, larger influx is going to be from. Which is what people think about. But yeah, we've met a few very bullish institutions, weirdly, and they kind of get it. They get the prop, but it's just with the yeah Cybercoin Act, a lot of it going forward. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I think we can keep this on. So let's briefly go back to portfolio. I think we don't have much movement in the other markets. We can set up the Sol ETH trade right away, and then go from that brand new account, which has some funds. And then if we look closely, we have um, oh yeah, okay, I'm not connected. So it's not my wallet, so we don't see. We probably have something like $500 worth of buying power,
Okay.
and that means that like maybe even more. Let's say $1,000 worth of buying power. So this might be something like 6 Sol or maybe a third of an ETH, and then depending on the direction, is going to guide us. But yeah, in your case, looking at the ratio, we can see the price as well going down maybe over the past few months. Uh, would you say you're bullish, bearish, or neutral on the performance of Sol with respect to the performance of ETH?
I think I'm more bullish at the moment and would probably want to set up some sort of bullish to neutral trade like we did in Eigen.
Yeah. Okay. And some of that, I mean, I don't read the charts too much, but we're back to the ratio we were in beginning of 2025. It went down to the same level, went down to the same level. So I'm not a big chart uh, reader, but you seem to have some maybe not support, but some ratio. Again, 20 to 1 seems to be where ratio is fairly. Oh, this is actually yeah 20 to 1 where people think, but yeah, I would say that I'm also just looking at the chart. There seems to be a little bit more potential on the way up than down. So yeah, would also be somewhat bullish on. This just means probably that Sol has underperformed. Now we may see it overperform. So we're gonna sell options because there's no none of the trading at all. We'll be the first sellers. Would you be buying puts? Will you want to be neutral bullish, right? So you know about short puts or straddles. Do you have a strangle or straddle in mind, or you're more pure directional, which is a short put?
I think maybe a strangle would work better because it is ratio bound, right? So we wouldn't want to overextend ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. And let me see something. Yeah, it's no, oh, it's not my account. Yeah, so we've seen this quite often. You choose a range when it's a ratio, like when it's a strangle. I like to keep the two legs one on top of the other because you can manage both legs at the same time. If you have two offsetted legs, it's fine. But sometimes you say, hey, half of it is not active. What do I do now? When it's all in one trade, it's much easier to manage. I've kind of moved it again preemptively, but what we want to aim for is some type of positive delta because we're bullish, or maybe we think there's going to be a bounce back in the price. Since there's risk to the upside, but at least we can have some range where it's earning. Maybe it's hard to think in terms of the ratio, but being about 10%, 15% above the current price, is it a good price target for you, or you would expect even higher?
Yeah, no, I think I wouldn't expect anything too dramatic to happen, but I think over the next week or month there will be a little bit more activity in Solana.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the price chart we show it here on the line where the strikes are. So we would be going back to maybe the price which was 23 days ago. Uh, if you say this is kind of restoring, if we're seeing that range where this might be a little level of support, that's interesting. Um, I also think it's a good bet. The floor, if you want, of that trade is 0.0052, which is basically where we are now. So a bit lower, but at least we have some protection. So yeah,
Yeah, good to just in case we need some protection.
yeah.
Good to have a little bit.
So this is bread and butter for option sellers. Again, we are somewhat bullish, so we have a positive slope. We cannot buy options, so we're limited with selling puts or selling straddles that are offset. Straddles is twice as capital efficient and allows you to transfer some of the risk. You have more risk on the upside, but if you're range bound, it's typically a good trade. That position will earn twice the fees as a regular Uniswap position because we have kind of this netting. And yeah, I forgot to do it, but if we look at the existing liquidity in Uniswap, this pool is actually pretty healthy. So
Mhm.
this is ETH-SOL. We have a lot of liquidity, huge chunk here. So someone is definitely there. They have a similar price range between 0.52 all the way up to 0.64. Uh, we don't have to kind of worry too much about liquidity because this seems to be 40 plus ETH. So kind of, yeah, a couple of $100,000 of liquidity. So this is a good pair to trade because there's lots of liquidity. The IV is quite low because the two markets are quite correlated. So we have kind of a even what seems like a lower risk trade because the two would probably move in consort. So this is still good. Yeah. So I'll copy and paste this. This is the trade we want to create on ETH-SOL. It's one of those trades which is bullish, neutral to bullish, somewhat easy to do. We don't have to rely on buying, so we can do whichever size we want. So we'll size this probably like 30%, I would say, of the buying power, just so that we have a healthy enough. Um, okay, let me go there. Healthy enough amount. But yeah, this is the trade. All right. Don't note that down, but it's probably like one of those where it's fairly easy to replicate it. Go on YouTube, look at the link, or you can just come back and watch this and freeze the page. And yeah, so we'll keep this short. Again, the market hasn't moved much. It went down, but nothing to worry about. We have a new trade. ETH-SOL excited about this one. And yeah, I think that's it. Anything else maybe that's on your mind for the weekend?
Not at the moment, but I know we did discuss another ETH USDC trade on Wednesday as well, to kind of offset our risk a little bit in the other direction. So maybe if Intern is listening today and wants
Yeah.
to,
So can you? So we can look at the whole portfolio P&L, which is we have a. It's probably going to be
it's
quite
very bullish.
very bullish. So what do you? I forget what we had in mind. What do you think? You would be more neutral here, or less bullish, or even bearish? What
I
do you?
think we did a trade that was offsetting the negative 11 delta,
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
um,
Oh,
just to kind of offset that. But maybe happy to explore other options as
Yeah, no, that's fine. So we have this. That's right. I forgot about this in the intern probably too. But this is a portfolio level delta of 1.1 ETH. We want to neutralize this or reduce it. So it's as simple as, in that case, I think setting a call was probably the easiest way. But you could just move around with this position sizing and find on that tooltip the same amount. So we can have maybe 1 ETH worth of liquidity. You can imagine neutralizing some of this. So yeah, I would say that we can look back. Should be something that intern does as well. Make it so that you're a bit less directional, something that is offsetting some of that risk. Getting paid in the process because you're selling options and not just kind of paying up when you're buying. So yeah, that might be another one that intern should have a look at. So yeah, very, very cool. And maybe it's, yeah, this is it. So I think that's good. So we'll bring in Brendan for the second half of the show, which is going to be about the competition and the best trades. Here is Brendan. Hey, how are you today, Brendan?
Hello. My background has been exposed today, I guess. But happy Friday, guys.
What's behind you? The cylinder there.
This is a big Berkey water filter. No shield, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess, yeah, thanks, Rosalie. Yeah, I'll see you on Monday and maybe with that new trade from Intern.
that's awesome.
All right. Bye.
Sweet. Well, happy Friday. We have the base competition running, which is very exciting. So I thought we'd take a look at some of the traders, some of the top and worst traders as well. Maybe the best and the worst is the same trader. Funny enough. So we're going to take a look at some trades here in the Bitcoin pool, but also in the ETH pool, and take a look at the leaderboards. We've got 10 more days going. I'll cue the countdown timer here. But as you see here, we have 10 days and 36 minutes remaining on this competition. So we are 2/3 of the way in. Very exciting. How are you doing, Guillaume, though? How's the week been treating you in the markets and the LP world?
Yeah, pretty good. The sideways action is great, but I expect a big move and I don't know where. So I've been reducing some of my positions, and it's fine where I was at probably 50% utilization. Now I'm like 40, maybe 35 by the end of the day. The way I see it is that I'm just trying to anticipate the next move. That if there's a big move, I limit my losses, but I can also double down. Again, it's if I did this 2 weeks ago, I would have been, hey, I think you're disappearing, Brendan. But yeah, if I did it 2 weeks ago, I would not have been back. But yeah, I feel like something is brewing, maybe a little bit. So that's why I'm feeling, at least the trading side, I'm lowering a little bit. We see the IV even on the EV on Volmex is lower. Bitcoin also is the lowest it's been in like years. Uh, I would either create defined risk positions or reduce my size. So currently I'm reducing my size, but if I were to open a new position, it would be defined risk so that I get protection on, so the downside or upside.
Yeah, I definitely think something feels like it's brewing. We can check I'm just looking at the fear and greed index, but it looks like we're still kind of in the greedy. Interestingly enough, at least.
I don't know what is a greedy versus fearful market looking like.
Oh, let's see. I don't know how they actually. So the coin market cap has this. We can take a look too at what they describe it as, but the coin market cap fear and greed index is a proprietary tool ranging from 0 to 100. The emotional state of the market influences buying and selling. Didn't really.
It's proprietary, so it's
Okay, so they take in a few measures that they won't tell us how exactly they calculate, but price momentum, volatility. Oh, it looks like they do.
Yeah,
look
Volmex has integrated. This is cool.
Yeah, very on-chain DeFi native. Some derivatives market, so they're looking at the put-call ratio. I didn't realize they use so many options metrics. Market composition, so BTC versus stable coins, and then some proprietary.
Yeah, a higher ratio of puts to call suggests more fear, bearish expectation. So it's kind of a catch-all maybe measure or metric for many of these indicators. IV, but the put call ratio gets in there. The market, yeah, if you're mostly in stables versus in exposure, you have kind of different So yeah, maybe if yeah, it's the first time we talk about it. If you look at the historical, do this with the price as well, or yeah,
Yes, that gray one.
okay.
So they kind of follow each
Near
other.
all time highs, very greedy. Near the bottom, kind of fearful, extreme fear. It's scary. Uh, yeah.
Yes, that's right. So we're kind of in the midpoint, but we have come down from the greedy with all the meme coins and like. I don't know. There's a lot of talk about World War III. So last I heard was there's a 2 week diplomacy period to see if the U.S. is getting involved in the Middle East further. But yeah, a little bit of creeping up here with some fear. It looks like maybe the puts are coming back
I mean,
on,
I'm
and
surprised the market hasn't moved that much. It seems like I don't know. Sometimes it feels like the I wouldn't say World War III, but any conflict has less and less impact on the price. Again, we saw Ukraine, and I remember crypto prices went down. I don't know why, but for some reason people sold. But I'd say that yeah, we're at a stage where does it really? I mean, it's unfortunate, of course, but I don't know how much of that really matters in the crypto slash digital asset world. Even the real stocks, I guess, they haven't seen much. So I don't know. It feels like
yeah,
no news event has impact anymore, and it's totally random for real.
yeah. In the last 5 days, we've kind of mostly steady, going up and down, kind of staying the same. So definitely, market is not pricing in some type of massive decrease in the world equities or the U.S. equities here. Maybe part of it's because
Oh,
of the military stocks going up.
yeah. Maybe can you look year to date, maybe on that chart?
We'll see. So yeah, we're
Kind
about
of the same place. Yeah, no, that's right. The crazy tariff period definitely moved the markets. But yeah, I don't know.
yeah 1,000 point drop in the S&P is pretty big.
Yeah.
But then we're back. So that was the day that yeah, I guess they canceled tariff day for a bit. So anyways, crazy. Yeah, something's brewing. Interesting. So you're decreasing your position size. And I'm trying to put on a trade in Penoptic. So if you have been hesitating to participate in our trading competition, this is your sign manifesting to go and put on a trade. $100 minimum. Super easy. If you have Coinbase, you just send your Bitcoin onto your base wallet. You send your USDC onto your base wallet. The onboarding experience is very, very easy nowadays with Coinbase. But of course, you can bridge, you can move over, just deposit into this CBBTC market here, and you are in the competition, top 50 win a prize. We're going to analyze the best and worst Bitcoin traders, and also we'll jump and look at the Ethereum pool, which is quite organically popular. So just taking a look at the leaderboard stats, we do have in first place still with a over 3% account portfolio P&L 0xe26A, and we can take a quick look at this user. They have two positions open, and it kind of looks like a risk reversal type short short perp, where they are bearish on the market. These numbers are going to be small because their minimums are just $100 to participate. So it's kind of a great
I mean,
place.
$5 in a week is still 5%, right? So,
That's right. They could have
and,
scaled and made just as much.
and this is weird also because the last week's top one was very bullish. Like they had three puts, I think that they sold. Now market has reverted. Maybe that account is now back to the bottom, and this one, which was inherently bearish, is earning. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean they've had these position opens for over a week, and we can kind of take a look at their overall portfolio here.
Oh, but look at this liquidity. This is actually, if you look at the total Panoptic owned liquidity, I'm impressed. This is very, very well deployed, if you ask me.
I'm not sure. Let's teach us how to read
Yeah,
this.
untick the Uniswap. Yeah, exactly. This one looks
Okay, I see what you're saying. So we have a
the
lot of caution
imagery. It's very, very skyscraper. Or
phallic like.
yeah, it is so. But this is what you need between 90K and what looks like 125K. This is where people put their bets. and yeah, I would also not expect the price to move that much beyond that in the next week. So interesting.
Yeah, this is great to hear. I think a lot of people are very active in this pool. We're seeing a lot of trades. It's fun. You can kind of look at the trade tape here. The ledger is public, right? So we kind of see everyone and all that they're doing just in the last 2 days. Here we have a whole page of activity, and we can see that this top winner of the leaderboard deposited around, if I can quickly calculate this in my head, I'm guessing around
150. So it's probably 100K. So it's yeah. Oh wait, yeah. I don't really see the small one, but yeah.
yeah, we can do the math real quick if that's you think that's
Yeah, it's probably
70.
$73 as well.
Perfect. Yeah, because we're at 100K. You're right.
Yep.
So about 150 bucks. They put on two positions of notional value around $550. So that's that leverage there. We can kind of look at even their risk analysis, so we can see their liquidation price on their portfolio. Bitcoin has to surge up to almost 200K for them to get liquidated. So
This could happen. Everyone is predicting this, 1 million per Bitcoin too. So
that's right, up here. So good chance of getting liquidated, right? So yeah, it's fun to see, observe. You can see how much of their margin they've utilized. So that's how close they reached liquidation at 100%. But so far they've put on some two trades. They've been very confident in those trades, and so far the trades have been earning them money. Is that mostly from the price moving or the premia?
yeah, it's the price I would expect as well. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the price has moved since they put on that trade at 100. It was 109,500, and now the price of Bitcoin is 104,300. So overall, their position, which looks like a short perp, has taken on some value. So very directional play here, and they are leading the charge. So interestingly enough, we're gonna look at some of the top trades that were made this week to zoom in a little bit on the recent trading activity of this week. This week has been a little bit sideways, as we just showed, in both equities and crypto markets. So if you had to guess, what do you think is going to be the best performing trade that was put on since last Friday in this Bitcoin market?
And this includes trades that are open but haven't been closed, or they have to be closed as well.
This would just be newly open trades since last Friday. They could be still open. They might have been closed in the last week.
Yeah, I think there might be someone that opened a trade near the top that we saw. So I'm looking at the chart, but we hit 2671 4 days ago, and now it's 24. I would say this looks like the more violent move currently, which is on Bitcoin, or I'm sorry, on ETH.
Yeah, we'll start with Bitcoin first. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Let me look. But yeah, I would say that's probably the same. Yes, we hit 109 4 days ago, and now it's slower. So I would say best trade is a short call, and worst trade might be a short put.
Best trade, short call. And
Yes,
worst
timing
trade,
it
short
a
put.
little bit like even that account that we saw, like selling a call at what seems to be the top, collecting this whatever 4% down move in pure directional action.
Okay, and this just reminds me. I saw a funny chart of technical analysis. This, and then U.S. goes to war. Right? But we do see this accumulation there. Interestingly enough, okay. Well, let's take a look at the best trade. I think you said it was selling a call option, which is technically a bit bearish, if I believe. You're going to be a little bit inverted here just because this user did close their position a little bit early. So
Yes.
they did protect themselves before the price moved by securing that gain. The price was originally 104,600 a week ago, and then the price jumped up to 107,800. So they were able to capture that gain and close it before the price came straight back down, even below the original price.
Great trade. Yeah, this is a weekly trade, so you keep this on for 3-4 days. This is perfect. When you see the profits, yeah, if you're on top of it, that's a great trade.
Yeah, it's nice to see people trading the weeklies. I think we default users to kind of the monthly It's a little bit smoother gamma wise and a
No,
bit
I think on
safer.
base it's weekly.
Is it weekly? Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We allow the weekly costs of trading every week is less important on base than it is on mainnet. So mainnet is monthly, and base and layer twos is weekly.
Sweet. So if I wanted to copy trade this person, is there a way to do that?
I think so. There's a purple button, I guess, on top. Is this it? Yeah, on the middle top left. No, yeah,
Middle
this one.
top
Is
left
this?
here. I think this is to share their
Oh,
bragging right. Oh, but it looks like you can copy the position link. So yeah, this would be fun if this is selling a put at the 198,000 strike. Interestingly enough, so they were they were at what delta would that be in percent terms? I'm not sure. I mean, they're currently at around 23 delta, so they're probably close to 23 delta when they minted this
yeah.
trade.
And if you're bullish, I would say selling the 20 to 30 delta put is the best way. And yeah, I'd say this looks like this is what they got. And then they exited at, oh yeah, it's a different, probably like 60 or 70. So, oh no, sorry. Um,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
So closer to 10 or 5.
10. Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. Well, how about so we'll go to the worst trade then. I think you said selling a put option.
Yeah, I'm keeping to my, yes.
All right, sticking with your guns.
Yes.
I like it. Well, good thing you did because you're correct. So this trader opened this put option. What do you know? When the last trader closed their position, this trader opened their position. It turns out they're the same trader.
Same trader. Okay.
So they rebalanced their position. I'm guessing around the
Oh, it's
would
much
this
higher,
be around the
right?
23 delta again?
Maybe so, yeah. So they if you're very bullish and you think the price is gonna keep going up, you kind of roll your puts for up. You close the old one, redeploy at this 20 to 30 delta. Now the price reverted and it wiped out, I think, more than what they gained, but that's fine. They're still earning premium. It might be the position size seems to be different as well. So
Yeah, it looks like they wanted to dump. Well, how much? This was a 2,000 value put. The previous one
yeah,
was also.
yeah,
So the margin requirement went up, and I'm curious. Yeah, so the margin before was $800, and now it went up to. Oh wait. Oh, the margin requirement went down. Okay, so they just basically rolled their position
yeah.
upwards with the strike, but this time the price went against them.
And it's fine. They're earning premium. If you hit that premium tab, it's still going up, and there's not much more to do. But yes, I would also assume it. We have 10 days. I would expect this to go back up at least 108, 9. So yeah, they might still be able to hit their break-even points. But yeah,
I'm curious. It looks like the premium kind of was flatlined a little bit. I don't know if that's just because of the scale, but is that just less volume in this Uniswap pool, and then we suddenly
yeah.
see
So we
some
can see
bigger?
the day by day volatility. This is the theta. This is how much activity there is. And yes, I would say that it might be very quiet, and it has been since the big move. So we see the same thing on most markets. The fees you collect requires a lot of trading activity, and if the market is not moving much, might be just arbitrage or even then not much. So it is kind of, you're going to take a hit on the fees that you accumulate over time.
Okay, sweet. So more realized volume in the pool, some nice realized premia for you, but of course you don't want the volatility to go too wild. You want it to kind of swing around in range. So okay, best and worst, you're 50-50 here as far as your correctness and guessing the best and worst trades. We're going to jump to the ETH pool, which is a very popular pool, the ETH USDC V4 pool, actually on Uniswap V4, where you can trade ETH options on Panoptic. And we have a couple of trades placed this week. So we're going to look at the best and worst trades here. So these are a little bit going to be bigger size trades just because there's no kind of competition going on the ETH pool. The contest is on the Bitcoin pool.
This is
What
still
are
on
your
base,
guesses?
right?
Yes, on base.
Okay. Yeah, I would also punt and make it easy. I also think the best and worst trades is setting a call is the best and setting a put is the worst. We've seen some very similar action on ETH as well. And yes, someone mistimed their trades, and now we're kind of almost the lowest we've been over the past week. So yeah, if you sold
All right.
puts at the wrong time, you can be in a world of hurt.
Okay, so kind of same thing with ETH. ETH has been, I guess, do you think ETH has kind of followed Bitcoin, and so not too much of a difference in these two markets here?
Yeah,
all
I
right.
think so.
Well, let's take a look here. So I think you said selling a call option was the best trade, right?
Yes.
Okay, here's the best trade of the week on the ETH pool on base. So they did sell a call option, but they also sold another call option, and they sold two other put options. So I mean, they're selling at the same strike here on the put options. So one key note here, just you can put in a 2x option ratio instead of doing like two separate legs. It's the same thing, but you have two legs. Is
No,
there any
one is
difference between-
yeah. The protocol prevents you from doing multiple legs of the same parameters. This one is weekly and one is monthly, so it's
I
someone
see.
went pretty wild. 4 legs which are weekly, one which is monthly. But
Gotcha. Okay. So we have, so this is the kind of thinner put, and this is the wider put over there.
and if you look at, so this is a good trade actually, because most they're back. And did they close this or it's still open?
Let's see. So they opened it a week ago, and it's running wild still.
Yeah, so it's pure volatility harvesting. They earned $53 worth of premium, and it's back to the same price. So this is pure like profits, 8% in a week, it seems.
Yeah, that's nice. So they've only lost $4 from the price moving. That's thanks to their very delta neutral.
And I'm even going to say now we add commissions to the mix. So they paid $8 worth of commissions. So basically, they might even be kind of just way over what their commissions were. But yeah, they almost back to the same price. So there's not much. This is delta neutral. The price might have moved up a little bit, tiny impact on their P&L. So we haven't seen a strangle or a straddle like this being the biggest winner, everything ever. This is very interesting that this happens this week.
Yeah, this is very nice. So they have a few narrow positions. They got some wide positions. Can we compare it? I'm not sure yet, but it would be nice to know. So we have this feature that we're working on that will let you kind of see how much more they're earning than on Uniswap. So that will be coming soon on Base. It's live on Ethereum mainnet, but you can see kind of these legs here with the Vagoids. So this is the extra amount that they're currently earning on by deploying through Panoptic into Uniswap. So basically, if they earn $1 in fees on Uniswap, here they'll be earning $1.04, so about 4% more. But here is one that is much higher. So 2.6x is 160% more in fees than they are earning on Uniswap. And so this is a nice bonus, and we see it with the amount of premium that they are earning, which is they've already have an unrealized profit of over 8% in the week. So very nice here. All positions in range, meaning they're all earning fees, and some of them at much higher multiples than Uniswap here.
This is what you have to do. Yeah, some mispricing happening, and yeah, you'll definitely capitalize on that.
Sweet. Well, anything else to say about this great trade here?
No, this is good. Again, this works when there's no price action. If we've seen, don't. I mean, so if you want to replicate this, this is definitely a good trade for volatility harvesting. Being short volatility, meaning you don't expect that much action. And yeah, I think that this is I do similar trades myself, and yeah, this is my kind of bread and butter. So I'm happy to see this for the first time being the most profitable trade, which again I would not have guessed at all.
Wonderful. Well, you guessed half of the league. So let's move on to the worst trade, and I think you said selling a put, which is correct here. So you're ending this segment with 2.5 out of 4 correct. So. Someone sold a put about 4 days ago. Selling a put is a bullish, slightly neutral to bullish position. In Uniswap, this is just simply an LP position between the price range of 2,182 and 2,774. So why has this LP position done not so great? Well, it's earned quite a lot of fees here. $16 is decent for just 4 days, but they have taken on a bigger loss of nearly $50. So netting that is around $37 loss, or 4%. And that's just because the price has moved down from where they started. ETH was 26.44, now it's 24.88. So about, I don't know, 10% price drop since they opened this position.
Yeah, and this is not one I would be worried about if I were to holding it. The delta I think is still kind of okay, 44. One thing that happens sometimes in traditional finance, if you're bullish, you sell a put. If the price moves against you, sometimes with traditional finance, there's a like the expiry can approach, and you have kind of diminishing returns to hold it. Here, it's an LP position. You still hold it. That's fine as long as you're in range. You make money. But if you're looking for a way to hedge this position and prevent perhaps more losses, not the correct way, but a standard way to hedge is to sell a call against it, meaning that you transform this bullish trade into a neutral trade, and you would be selling a call. We will very soon kind of show a position builder and a hedge toolkit that will allow you to manage this. But yes, I would say that you can be a bit offset, but if you're in range, you're doubling down on the amount of fees, then you can flatten that payoff curve so that you transform what was bullish. You say, I'm still maybe not convinced, maybe neutral and not bearish, which is a total flip flop. And selling a call is another way to offset the risks and kind of earn more on the fees. Hope that you get range bound. Again, that would be 2,200 to 2,800, which is still a quite wide range.
Yeah, and we talked about this on a recent episode, so you should go check it out on our YouTube page about hedging Uniswap positions. So here, as you just mentioned, if we double down, we're going to earn twice as many LP fees by selling a new LP position. And it's also going to neutralize our delta, which means as the price moves, it really reduces any type of losses that happen if the price were to move 1 to 5% or so. If the price moves a lot more than that, then we have to continue this hedging process. And that is how the market makers think, so very, very interesting here. Love that you can just kind of go straight into this trade, copy it, play around with different hedging tools. Sounds like we have some kind of new tools coming out too to really dive into the hedging part. So stay tuned for that. But great work on this best and worst trades. So we've seen kind of a variety of positions put on over the last week, and some most directional, some kind of volatility harvesting. The volatility harvesting strategies have played out quite well just because of the crab markets, and some of the directional ones have played out poorly, but others timed it well and closed it on time and did well. So kind of seen a nice range of different trades. Hopefully here you see that each kind of position is different strategy-wise and does different in different markets. So our idea here is not to give you necessarily financial advice anywhere, do your own research, but you kind of see how these trades play out under different circumstances and how some of them can lose money when they're correct, or make money when they're incorrect, or make money when they're correct and lose money when they're incorrect. So options are kind of this very flexible thing. Do you have any advice for us going into the weekend before we meet again on Monday to look over the intern's portfolio?
No, I think it's fine. Again, the stability makes me cautious a little bit. We haven't heard a crazy tweet in a while, so I think that that's my only worry. But overall, it's fine. I think it's hard to play these events. It's just kind of just sizing properly, making sure you have a good grasp of the risk. But I don't have any crystal ball. I don't know what's going on. But I wouldn't bet the house on any move, at least over the weekend.
That's right. And I guess following up, the Fed did meet on conclude their meeting on Wednesday and basically conclude that they were holding rates steady I believe same. Nothing really new as far as expectations go that I saw, unless I missed something. Last time we said the weekend would be steady, and then some crazy stuff happened. So we'll see. This week we're a little bit nervous. It looks like at the Panoptic desk. So we'll see if markets end up being calmer than expected. But great. Well, this has been the best and worst traders. So you can join in the trading competition by depositing just $100 in either USDC or CBBDC, or a little bit of both is recommended for the smoothest trading experience. So basically, you can put in like $1 of Bitcoin and then $99 of USDC, or vice versa, and you're in the competition. So we've got prizes. We've got almost $5,000 in USDC. We've got a Michael Saylor pillow for the most spending trader who's going to put on the most trades, highest volume, and we've got over 5 million points that we're giving out. So very easy way to be earning some nice juicy rewards. Practice your trading. Put on some small trades, as we've seen here. A lot of high percentage gains, but very small trades. So good way to kind of get into options trading. And it looks like we have a question that has come in to the chat. So do you have theta vaults, Guillaume?
Yeah, this is a extremely important product we've been cooking up. We've wrote the smart contracts. This is kind of the most dangerous parts they're getting out of this week's. But yes, a lot of folks, we do these shows to maybe cater for the self-directed investors that may have time to kind of monitor their positions. We try to make it so that you have to look at it every few days, which is fine. But there's still a need for these vaults, which is quite simpler for the users. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. I'll give you a follow back for sure. Long story short, we'll have vaults present. Even they were teased on the website, but it's been kind of a couple of months. But we have this. What we want to offer is, to some extent, Ribbon and now Avo had the vaults. They got traction, but the mistake they made was that it was only bullish, meaning covered call and short puts. And of course, they make money when the market is good, but when the market crashed, people got a bit more kind of a bit more worried. We will allow bullish, bearish, and neutral vaults, which is kind of that sure. So if you're bullish and the price went wrong, it's not us that did not provide information, it's the trader or the vault that you chose. So we will allow delta neutral vaults to be there, bearish vaults as well. The whole construct works quite well with Panoptic. The second maybe thing that did not work well for the Ribbon holders, that there was a expiring rolling options timescale, and you could time the market. If you were a market maker, you could change the fees, you could change the premium. We're fully on chain, fully decentralized. Nothing is in the hands of any central market maker, so the fees will be quite accurate. They will be quite fair in a way, because it's going to be the market rates. You can imagine having a covered call or a neutral vault that is paying you the fair price and not necessarily having to worry about the execution that, again, these market makers gave you. So something that is extremely important for our traction. If you think about it, in traditional finance, these vaults, if you want, are called structured products. You have structured products for deposits, for, again, Morgan Stanley, and kind of a lot of those offer them to institutions. Banks gobble it up. It's a very, very easy way to invest with some protection, with some risk disclosures, but very, very simple, straightforward trades, which you won't have to worry about the management. So yes, managed vaults, data vaults, could be long vol, which is straddles and kind of doing something that is unknown as well. Still options based, but now we have a lot more freedom than just a single leg. And yeah, so that's on the roadmap, with ETH-SOL coming maybe later. Yes.
That's right. Yes, and we do have the liquidity now. We've actually just spiked over $3 million in TVL. Lots of sold liquidity, so we can do these kind of long volatility vaults. Interestingly enough, so I think we have some audits coming up, so we'll be kind of making some announcements on that when those reports are released. But yeah, lots of vault products.
Yeah. So actually, I welcome the questions. The one is, the risk engine is all on chain. It's under collateralized, which is maybe not something you see often. It's not cash secured puts or covered calls by default. We allow people to access leverage to do some type of prime lending. We allow people to have collateral, and this collateral can be used to generate loans or access leverage. So the whole risk engine, it's public. It's based on FINRA regulations, which is what we have in TradFi. But we allow 5x leverage on these options. You have 1 ETH worth of collateral. You can create a 5 ETH call if you want. So this is extremely capital efficient. And you think about this: you deposit collateral, you earn fees, you earn yield on it by default. If you do nothing, you earn 5-7%. If you trade on top, you earn on that collateral still. So you have a baseline of 5 to 7% return plus whatever you make or lose, I guess, but whatever you make with this options trade. So it's actually same thing with this user. It's a prime prime lending model. If you are now providing liquidity as a PLP, you are the prime broker. You are providing liquidity for these traders. So it's all very, very kind of integrated. We want to have a lot of folks kind of participate, and you have this certainty of getting yield on your deposits. You have the certainty that you get the best fair price because of the options. There's no middleman or market maker, and also you have a lot more freedom as to the market. So again, definitely looking forward for again this. I cannot see their username, I guess, but we'll try to find you. But yeah, definitely something that is um, on the pipeline. Very, very cool for you to kind of do this and ask these questions. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and just to show you kind of what Guillaume is saying here for the audience who is unfamiliar with all these prime lending markets. So basically, we have this Uniswap Foundation supported site called Grow here, and I'll drop it in the chat so we can display this. So grow.panoptic.xyz. This is basically the lending market. And so you're lending to the LPs that want to LP on leverage or not LP on leverage on Uniswap, but either way, you're lending to them. And you can just deposit single-sided. It's a way to basically just lend out and get that 5 to 7% yield that Guillaume was talking about on some of the major markets. It's the same thing if you go through app.panoptic.xyz here that I'm showing on the screen. And then we'll switch this. So this is app.panoptic.xyz. You can see the deposit returns. So that is the returns from basically lending out your assets, similar to Aave and Compound, but just a narrower scope. The borrowers can only LP into Uniswap with your funds, instead, as opposed to where they can do anything on Aave and Compound. So you can kind of see the returns here are quite high on these new pools. That's because we have a lot of trading activity going on. Base does see a lot more volume compared to deposits. Whereas if we go to the Ethereum pools, we'll see something closer to the 5 to 7% range. For example, this very popular wrapped ETH options pool is seeing 7% on the USDC side, 5% on the ETH side. So great way to participate, just this prime lending. You can just deposit here on Grow or deposit here on the app. And then you're already earning this just by depositing. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a better idea of the prime lending markets. We have one other question.
there's no question mark, so it's probably a statement.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, use the interface. The point system is a way to reward kind of the most beneficial behaviors. If you earn a lot of points, you can imagine that this can translate into kind of a reward of some kind. So the way to grow is to have participants be active, have the users kind of optimize for points. A lot of folks have been mining them, but there's a lot of room to play again. We probably have 6 months worth of points to distribute. So this is actually very, very interesting if you want to get started. And yeah, you can have a look at the leaderboard as well. Who's winning, who's losing. But yeah, very, very cool. So I do have to hop now quite suddenly, but this was great. Thanks very much, everyone. Another week of trading. But yeah, this was great. Thanks for the questions in the chat. And hopefully we can, if you have any questions, join Discord, reach out even on Twitter. Happy to help.
Well, take care, everyone. We'll see you on Monday.